What's up, LTD addicts? Let's talk about Eventin. Eventin is a very powerful WordPress plugin that lets you sell tickets to darn near anything, whether it's an online web summit or maybe an in-person rock concert. You can even do those QR code tickets where people can get their tickets scanned at the door. It'll make you look super pro, even if you're just running the whole shindig out of your music lesson studio or your girlfriend's yoga studio. It's really amazing that this whole thing is run by WordPress and the fact that it works so well. But there is one problem. Eventin is a little bit overwhelming at first sight. So when I got the email this morning from AppSumo letting everybody know that Eventin was back on AppSumo for a limited time, I reached out to them and said, hey, maybe I should make a video explaining how to use this plugin because it doesn't need to be very hard. I can help people get up and running in no time, get their first event launched, and maybe even pay for the deal within the first couple of weeks of having it on their website. They said yes, agreed to sponsor this video, and here we are. So let's go ahead and check out the AppSumo deal page, and then we're gonna get right into the meat of the matter. I'm gonna show you how to use Eventin. No frills, we'll just get right into selling tickets and posting events on our website. So here is Eventin over on AppSumo. You can see it's currently ending in just under 2 weeks. So go ahead and pause the video, click the link below, let AppSumo know that these videos are helpful to you. It does also earn me a small commission. So thank you very much for anyone who considers clicking my links, and grab a code so you can follow along with the rest of this video. I want to point out that this is a very, very affordable deal when you compare it to a SaaS-based solution, because 59 bucks gets you 5 sites, unlimited use. There's not like a step up in features. It's just all included. The only thing that changes with each tier is how many sites you can run it on. So 10 sites for tier 2, unlimited sites for tier 3. 5, 10, or unlimited. Seems like a pretty clear-cut option. Are you serving clients? Well, then go for tier 2 or tier 3. If you're a solo entrepreneur, tier 1 is going to be just fine. All right, so once you have your code, you'll redeem that and you're gonna get a plugin file that you'll wanna download to your computer. Now, I've got my WordPress website up here. It's for an online coach, and I'm gonna be building out a web summit for them. Now, there's gonna be multiple speakers and different timed events, and we need to lay all of that out for our attendees so that they can comfortably make a purchase and show up to either Zoom or Google Meet to view the actual summit. So here is the site, just built out as kind of a demo site. Now, the first thing I'm gonna do is click into the WordPress admin area and install the plugin. So I'll go to plugins, add new, click on upload plugin, and then I'll just grab that zip file that I got from the downloads area of the Eventin website and drop it right where it says choose file, and then click install now. Now, throughout the rest of this video, we're gonna cover it in really just 2 different steps. First, we're gonna do all of the back end setup. We'll load in our events, add our speakers, add the schedules, and then once that's all good to go, we'll shift our attention towards the front end where people are actually viewing our website and able to make purchases and get tickets and do all the important stuff. So first, let's start with that kind of more boring end, which is setting up everything. However, this is obviously very important. With Eventin installed, on the left-hand sidebar, you'll see a new option for Eventin. Click on that and then go to Settings. If you're going to be doing online events, Eventin supports Zoom or Google Meet, so you want to connect one of those options. Now, to connect them, you'll head over to Integrations, and then Zoom is the first option here, so you can just toggle this on, and I recommend clicking over to their documentation. This is gonna pop open a page that walks you through step by step. It's really good. It's got like screenshots that are annotated and everything. Shows you exactly 1, 2, 3, exactly where to click to get the information where you need to copy and paste over into your actual website. What we're doing here is just letting Zoom talk to Eventin so they can do the magic stuff together, and we can sell tickets and people will be able to log into Zoom and actually get access to the event. Connecting Google Meet is very similar. Just go over to your Google Meet options down here. It's the 4th one down, and then add in the client ID and client secret that you'll get when you follow the documentation. Here it is, same deal. We got great annotation, very easy to follow. Yes, this part sucks, but it's gonna take 15, 20 minutes tops, and then you're done. You never need to do it again. It's not as though you need to set this up with each event. Once it's connected up to your site, you're good to go. Next, we want to set up some way to actually get paid for our tickets, right? you want to sell tickets. That's the whole point. So to do this, go to General Settings, and then the fourth one down is Woo/Purchase Settings. Now, I highly recommend using WooCommerce, although you don't have to. You can toggle this off if you'd like, and you can just sell directly with Stripe. You'll have to copy and paste the API keys from your Stripe account. Should be pretty easy to find those. Stripe makes them easy to identify, but if you can't find them, just Google around how to get your Stripe API keys. It'll show right up, and then you just paste them in here. However, I don't really recommend doing this. I prefer if you use WooCommerce, namely because WooCommerce has the whole account thing already set up. So people will be able to create an account when they make a purchase, and then their tickets will be stored on your website where they can log in and access them. People delete emails and they can't find stuff, and this will just be the easiest way to get them access to their tickets after something's already gone wrong on their end and you don't know anything about it. So a couple of things you might want to change here, like setting up the redirection after someone adds an event to their cart. I like sending them right to the checkout so they can make a purchase right away. We can skip the cart. We don't need to see more event information. They've indicated they want tickets. Take them to the checkout. Next, you can turn on the print or download invoice on the thank you page. This is nice because people like to have receipts. And then finally, I recommend turning on require login. That will require them to create an account when they actually make a purchase. Like I just mentioned, that is a good idea. So save those changes, click on the blue button down here, or is it purple? Whatever, go ahead and save it, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, I want to talk about the vernacular that Eventin uses throughout the plugin, because depending on your use case, it could be kind of confusing. We're going to be dealing with things like events and speakers. Now, you might be running a rock concert, or you might have yoga classes going on, and it could be kind of confusing. Why does it say events and why does it say speakers? Well, just remember that the people doing the thing are the speakers, and then the thing that people are coming to see is the event. So is it a concert? Is it a class? Is it a seminar? That doesn't really matter. That part's going to be the event, and then the person giving the event is going to be considered the speaker. Unfortunately, there's no way to distinctly change that language. However, you can change the slug. So if you're familiar with WordPress terms, basically that's like the part of the URL that shows up. To do that, it's back over in the settings. We can go back into that real quick. Settings and then slug settings. We can change the event slug name and the speaker slug name to be anything you want. So as an example, if this were for yoga classes, I would say class and I would say instructor. Or if it was a rock concert, I would say concert and band. So I've erased everything, and let's get back into the setup process. One of the first things you might want to do is add in your speakers or instructors or the people who are actually giving the event. So go right over here where it says speakers and then click add new. Now you can always do this later, but to get things going, it might make sense to add any potential speakers right away. It'll just be a little bit smoother when we add in our events. All right, so when adding a new speaker, we've just got a few fields to fill out here, and most of them are pretty clear cut. So in the name, you'll enter in your speaker name. Under designation, that'll be like the speaker's title. Then you can enter in their email address, add a little blurb about the speaker, and then you can add their social information, their company logo, and their company URL if you'd like to. All right, so I've just published this speaker. I'm gonna go ahead and add a few more in right now. I recommend you pause the video and do the same thing. Get everybody you know of into your system, and then we'll pick things up in the next screen. I almost forgot to mention, as you're adding in your speakers, you can categorize them. So there's two categories by default. You have organizer and speaker, but go ahead and add other categories if you feel like it's relevant. Like you could add instructor or maybe performer, magician, whatever it is that you want to add to your site. Go ahead and add those as speaker categories. Another thing to consider for your speakers is to add in a featured image. So I've gone ahead and I've added 3 speakers here, but I didn't remember to add featured images. So I'm going to edit each one, just go over to the featured image section and then upload an image for each speaker. This will come in handy later on when you're trying to display the speakers in your event. So I do recommend doing this, even though it might slow down the process just a little bit right now. After you've added your image, make sure you click the update button right here, and then you'll be able to actually view the post so you can see what this individual card is going to look like. Now, unfortunately with this layout, it's kind of cutting off Edward's chin right here, but we can probably fix this by choosing a different layout. More on that in a little bit. All right, now that we've got our speakers added, we need to add some actual events. Now you might notice there's two options here. One says events and the other says schedules. Now to me, this was very confusing in the beginning because why do I have events and schedules? Aren't events already scheduled? Well, what this is actually referring to is what's happening inside of the event. What is the schedule for the event? Now, unfortunately, events and schedules are on the same level of the hierarchy, so it should actually be nested inside of events because schedules go with events. But when you look at the menu here, it adds to the confusion. So let's go ahead and create a schedule, and then we'll tie it into an event. You'll see what I mean here in a second. So I'm in schedules, and I'm going to choose add new. And I'm going to create that web summit that we were talking about. So I'll say web summit schedule. And this is going to be the schedule for the first day on Wednesday, the 10th. And we want to choose Wednesday here. And now in these schedule slots, I can detail exactly what's going to happen on this day of the event. So maybe the event is going to kick off with a keynote speech. I'll give the topic a name, keynote speech, and choose the time. Let's say it's going to happen at 10 a.m. And the keynote is going to last for 1 hour long. It'll happen in the main room. And the speaker is going to be Byron Buxton. All right, now I'm going to add that slot and I can detail what happens next in the summit. We'll have a talk on doing copywriting without AI. It'll be blowing people's minds. That'll start at noon, so we'll have a little break between speakers, and this will go for 2 hours. Again, it's gonna be in the main room, and this time it will be Alex Kuriloff speaking. All right, we'll just add one more slot here. This will be about UX, UI design. It's gonna start at 2:30, and we'll go till 4 o'clock. We'll keep things in the main room, and this will be given by Edward Julian. All right, now I'm going to publish this schedule, and I've got my speakers as well as my schedule loaded in. The only thing that's left is the actual event itself. So let's go over to events, hit add new, and let's give this a title. I'll call it the Ultra Mega Web Summit. Now, I'm not going to get too granular here at the risk of boring you and having you turn the video off, but I'm going to call out the ones that I think are most important. So first of all, we need to choose our schedule type, which is with a speaker or without a speaker. And I think that's fairly obvious what that might mean. I'm going to go with a speaker here. And now I can add schedules for the created event. So I can choose more than one schedule here. Like I could do the web summit, and I've got this other one called the demo. These are gonna show up in the listing. Now, I'm actually gonna get rid of the demo one because I made that before I started recording the video. But you get the idea here. When we went ahead and we made the schedule, we'll go back into that screen real quick. When we actually made the schedule, we chose what day the schedule was for. Remember, this is a single day schedule. So if you have a multi-day summit or a long weekend music festival, you could create multiple schedules for that entire event and let people know exactly what's going to be happening hour to hour, what band is going to be on the stage at this time, or what time does the speaker that I really want to see, what time are they giving their talk, and where is it located inside of the event center. All right, the next option I need to call out is the virtual product option right here. This lets you turn on WooCommerce to actually sell tickets. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna say, yes, this is going to be a virtual product. Now, I don't need to do anything inside of WooCommerce other than set up PayPal and Stripe. Everything else will be handled by Eventin. You don't need to go and actually create any sort of products or anything. That's all done for you. Okay, so those are just the general settings, but as you can see here, under event settings, we've got a lot of options to go through. So I'm gonna call out the ones that I think are most important that you're definitely gonna wanna change. First of all, venue/location. Go ahead and enter in the location of the event so people actually know how to get there. There's also another step that you might want to take here. Now, I don't want to pull you out of creating your event, but inside of settings, under integrations, there's actually a Google Maps integration, which you can turn on, and then you'll need to get an API key for Google Maps. That'll allow you to have a precise map show up right on your event page. So I highly recommend doing that if you're doing in-person events. Next, date and time. You definitely want to tell people when this thing starts and when it's going to end. So set your time zone, go ahead and add a start date, add a start time and an end time. And then you can set an event registration deadline so that people can't be signing up at the last minute if you don't want them to. Next, the fun part, taking the money. Let's go to ticket and pricing here, and we can turn on our ticketing. So first of all, limited tickets. Most of the time, you're probably going to have some type of limitation, even if you're using Google Meet or Zoom, because those plans themselves have limitations. So you're almost always going to be turning this on and then setting an actual limit on the number of tickets, which is down here. So let's say I've got Google Meet at the business plan, $18 a month. I think that includes 500 total participants. I can set a ticket price of, I don't know, how about $25? And I'll give this a ticket name like general admission. You can also set minimum quantity purchases. So if you want to sell things in pairs or sets of 6, whatever you want to do, you can set that up here, and you can set a maximum purchase quantity. So you can prevent scalpers from going in and buying all of the tickets in one go. Maybe set a max of like 4 per person or whatever you feel is appropriate. Now, this is ticket variation 1. I could continue to do this for as many variations of tickets as I have. So let's say I wanted to have a VIP experience. I could definitely do that. Maybe I charge $100 for the VIP experience, and I'm only going to sell, I don't know, how about 15 of those? All right, so now you're starting to see that you can really do a lot of advanced ticketing here with pretty minimal setup. But you can even make things a little more advanced here with a seat map. Now, the way this works is you need another plugin. It's not included in this deal, but I'm gonna go into another tab here. You don't have to follow me. I'm gonna go into add-ons, and then you can see right here, there is seat map. This is going to tie into the TimeTix plugin, which is by the same developer, Theme Winter, and TimeTix has the ability to create a seat map. So if you want to have people choose their specific seats, you can integrate these two plugins and then have a seating chart and be able to sell exact tickets to exact seats inside of your venue. I would say like 99% of people doing this do not need seating charts, so don't worry about it too much, but I think it's a really cool feature that it's available. You do have to make another purchase, but hey, maybe we can rally and get them to bring TimeTix Pro back to AppSumo. That would be really cool, and we could all have our own seating charts at our event venues. I don't have an event venue, do you? We'll come back and check out some of the other add-ons a little bit later on, but for now, let's get back into finishing up our event. Events can be reoccurring. So if you're doing something like a weekly yoga class, you could set that up to be a reoccurring event. It does need to have a start and end time. So make sure you set that up and then go ahead and have it repeat every week, or, every Tuesday at the same time every week. You could do that, and you could sell tickets to it every single time. However, I'm going to turn off reoccurring events for right now because it's just going to overcomplicate things. We're not going to do a reoccurring web summit, so we'll turn that off, but know that it's there, and it's going to be very handy to a lot of people watching this, I think. Now, if you're doing an online meeting through either Zoom or Google Meet, we already did the configuration where we let the two applications talk to each other, but now we need to say that this specific event is going to be on Zoom or it's on Google Meet. So go to one of these two options and then just toggle it on. Now, notice you need to actually have the configuration set up. Don't skip that first part or this will not work. Basically, what's going to happen is after you publish the event, it's going to go out and talk to Google Meet, and then it's going to give you a URL for the actual event that will show up here. And if you don't do the setup, then the URL will not be populated. So definitely follow all of the steps. I want to point out that you can add in an FAQ for the event, which I think is really cool because you always see those on events that you sign up for, like, how long will this last, or what type of people should attend, or who is this good for, or what results can I expect? Well, you have a little FAQ builder right here where you can go ahead and add in your first question and then add in your answer. And you can add as many as you like, just kind of go through and add as many FAQs as is needed. All right, last settings I'm gonna go through is under miscellaneous. There's the option to add your own event logo, change the colors for everything, and even link out to an external event if you wanna direct people somewhere else after they make the purchase. You can enter a URL in right here, and then you can basically send them anywhere you want to. All right, I'm gonna publish this event, hit publish, and it is now live. All right, so when viewing my event, this is what it looks like by default with no changes made. Not too terribly bad in my opinion. However, I do have a ton, like an unbelievable amount of ways I can configure my event pages, and I can even make listings of multiple events so that people can browse through all of the different upcoming events. Now, the best way I can recommend you get a good sense of all of the options that are available in terms of the front end is to simply go to the Theme Winter website and then go to Eventin and click on the demo page right here, which actually shows you every single option that you could possibly want in order to display your events. So there is a countdown timer, there is this grid of cards with upcoming events. There is an events filter, so you can choose maybe a location or a category of event and then perform a search. There's filtering through tabs, so you can set categories and then easily sort through different styles of events. And we can even list out our speakers, allowing people to see their social media links or click on them to see all of the events they're going to be speaking at. Now, how do you do all of this stuff? Because sure, the demo page exists, but how do we actually build this on our own website? Well, let me show you, because again, like most things in Eventin, it's extremely flexible, almost to a fault. There's so many ways to do everything. Now, first of all, we can set up default templates. So this right here is a template, the one that appeared when we first viewed our event. Now I can change this to be something else by going under Eventin and then settings and general settings, and then the event template. Right now, it just says all these lines. I can change it to be number 2. We'll hit save. And now it looks totally different. We've got a little countdown timer. I happen to like this look a lot better. We can see our speakers. They look a little bit better as well. And we can see our FAQ down here. It's a very nice layout. I can easily add this to my calendar. I can add a ticket. Let's grab a VIP experience here. It tells me there's 15 seats remaining. I just click buy a ticket and it takes me right over to the checkout page. Notice it has our schedule here and it's got the specific date that's set up. If I had multiple days, I'd have some tabs at the top here. I could switch between the different schedules. And if I want to see some details, I can click on that. It will reveal the information about who's actually speaking. And I can go off to their speaker page and see all of the talks that they're going to be giving. Now, I don't like that speaker template, so let me choose a different one here. I'll do one Pro. Let's save changes and let's reload the speaker page. And that looks a lot better just because it doesn't have the awkward crop for this size photo. So this setting up templates and then just seeing which one you like might be all that you ever really need to do. It could work for a lot of people, but you might also want some more customization. You might want to put these listings on other pages of your website rather than relying on the pages that Eventin is generating. So how do we do that? And what systems inside of WordPress is it going to work with? Because everyone knows WordPress basically has 10,000 different page builders at this point. So how is everything going to be supported? So I've created a new page here and it's called Events. And if I just click on the plus button, I'm gonna get a list of all of the blocks that are available here. And I can scroll down until I see Eventin show up. And sure enough, there are 5 dedicated blocks from Eventin. So if I wanted to do, say, a speaker list, I could click right here and it's gonna drop in all of my speakers. And I can even change the layout right from this screen. So currently it's on style 2. I could change it over to be style 1. Style 1 looks like it's dedicated to one particular speaker. So I could toggle through the different speakers and then, feature that person on this particular page. Okay, so there's some blocks for Gutenberg. Big deal. What if you don't use Gutenberg? What if you use something cool like Bricks or something else like Divi or Elementor? Well, don't worry, they're all supported. And even if you're using something I've never heard of, you can still use shortcodes. So let's go over all of this here. What page builders are natively supported? Let's cover that. So under Eventin, I'm gonna go to add-ons and then I'm gonna scroll all the way down and I can see there are add-ons for Divi, Bricks, and Oxygen. The Elementor elements are built right in. You don't need to install anything. It just works right out of the box. Okay, so those are 4 of the largest page builders in the WordPress ecosystem, plus Gutenberg. So that's 5 total page builders if we're calling Gutenberg a page builder. And then what happens if you're using something else? Maybe you're old school and are still using the classic editor, but you want to drop in a list of your events. How can you do that? Shortcodes are the answer, of course. This is WordPress. Shortcodes are basically the foundation of WordPress, and hopefully they never die. There's an amazing shortcode builder right inside of Eventin. So right over here, we can go to shortcodes, and just about anything you can think of inside of Eventin, like a Zoom meeting or a speaker list, or maybe an event list, there's a shortcode builder for all of them. So right now, if I wanted to do, let's say, How about the event countdown timer? I could click right here where it says generate shortcode, and then it pops open a little builder with some options for me. So I can choose which template I want. Now that happens to be only one for the event countdown timer, and I can choose which event I want it to be for, and then it'll just generate the shortcode for me right here. This works with anything. Some are more elaborate than others. Here's the event shortcode builder, and we can get very, very detailed here and choose the exact information we want to display. Or maybe you want to focus on recurring events. You have a dedicated page on your website just listing all of the recurring events. You can generate a shortcode for that as well. Very simple builder here, not a lot going on compared to the event builder. Remember the events filter? Well, there's a shortcode for that as well. It's right here, advanced search filter. Just go ahead and generate the one that you want, and then you'll be able to put that anywhere you want on your website. So while this page seemed very advanced when we first looked at it, now you can see that it's just a matter of finding a shortcode, modifying it to have the layout and contents that you like, and then putting it on your website. Pretty straightforward. There are add-ons for other plugins if you use Buddy Boss, or maybe you want to offer certificates for people who attended your event. There's an entire certificate builder. Now, I don't have time to get into that in this video because it's already getting quite long. But as you can see, this tool is very powerful, and hopefully throughout the video, you've learned enough to go ahead and get your event set up, but know that you're gonna need some time to get things dialed in exactly as you want. So set aside enough time so you don't feel overwhelmed, be patient with it, and ask me any questions you have down in the comments. I'll be around to help you out so you get your event page built out the way that you want. All right, this has been Eventin. My name is Dave Swift. Check out the link in the description if you want to pick up a copy. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next review.